Well, ZANU-PF Chairperson Khaya Moyo made that final announcement expelling Robert Mugabe and his wife Grace from the party to cheers from the gathered Central Committee.
Makes all of us here present part of a historical moment. Indeed, this is history unwinding. It is amazing how you have been mobilized and be present here at such short notice from your distant provinces. I know some of you have come almost 800 kilometers from here at short notice. We have had such fruitful deliberations which will have a monumental impact on our party, ZANU-PF, and indeed Zimbabwe as a whole. We have seen democracy at play. The people have spoken. This Central Committee has agreed on the recall of the President and Third Secretary of ZANU-PF, Comrade Robert Mugabe. He has been our leader for a long time, and we have all learned a great deal from him. It is a sad page in the history of our revolutionary party that Comrade Robert Mugabe has to depart in such a manner. It is unfortunate, comrades, that he had surrounded himself with a wicked cabal bent on reversing the gains of our liberation struggle.
Comrade Robert Mugabe be and is hereby recalled from the position of President and First Secretary of ZANU-PF forthwith.
An unimaginable resolution just 2 weeks ago. But President Robert Mugabe's control of his party, weakened after a military occupation 5 days ago, is now completely lost. The ruling party also expelled and banned for life his wife, Grace Mugabe. A number of her allies, including Second Vice President Phelekezela Mphoko and Finance Minister Ignatius Chombo, were also fired. Mugabe has been given until midday Monday to tender his resignation or face impeachment. The sacking of former Vice President Emmerson Mnangagwa was the catalyst of Mugabe's misfortune. The tables have turned, with Mnangagwa now set to replace him.
That Comrade E.D. Mnangagwa be the party's nominee to be appointed to fill the vacancy of State President in terms of Part 4, Paragraph 14, Subparagraph 5 of the 6th Schedule of the Constitution of Zimbabwe, Amendment number 20.
Deserted by his party, the embattled Zimbabwean leader met military commanders on Sunday for what was hoped to be a conclusive round of talks.
People were already going to his house yesterday, and the military stopped him on the understanding that something is going to happen about his resignation today. We, with the war veterans, called the people 2 nights ago to come to make this demonstration. We don't want to call them back again.
Details of the meeting are yet to be released. Farai Mwakutuya, CGTN, Harare, Zimbabwe.
Well, let's get you the very latest now on these developments. CGTN's Farai Mwakutuya joins us live from Harare. Farai, indeed an incredibly eventful day for Zimbabwe, and some suggesting it's not quite over yet. Will Robert Mugabe step down ahead of that Monday deadline?
Well, Lindy, indeed, very fast-paced, dramatic day here, and that question, will he step down, is the lingering question, and the expectation has been heightened here because we understand that state media, the state broadcaster, the state television station, as well as state-owned radio stations have been invited to State House, where those meetings between President Robert Mugabe and the military generals were taking place, and they have since announced in their broadcasts that there will be crossing over to a live broadcast at State House once everything is ready on the ground. So people are waiting for that imminent press statement. Will it be a resignation or not? Nobody knows. But it is yet more drama in this unfolding crisis, Lindy. A crazy 5 days we've had here.
Indeed, the 5 days that changed the history of Zimbabwe so far. Farai, though, how are ordinary Zimbabweans reacting to the news that Robert Mugabe has been sacked as head of ZANU-PF?
Well, I think for many there is some people expected that this was going to happen after the process that was initiated on Friday. They assumed that, if all the 10 provinces have passed votes of no confidence in him, it would follow, especially given the tone that all the ZANU-PF supporters were taking, that he would be sacked today. And I think for many, it now is a serious statement to show that there's now a sense of inevitability about the fate of President Robert Mugabe. If he doesn't step down, pressure is mounting, impeachment will come. So it's a matter now of when and not if. There is a sense of anticipation, a sense of hope. And I said earlier today that, when I met people in the morning, some of them said to me that they woke up this day after these marches yesterday feeling like they were in a completely different country. So that is the sense of hope and excitement that is here. And now it's now impatience and anticipation for what might happen in the coming hours. Lindy.
Certainly an emotional few days and tumultuous too for the entire nation, but perhaps in particular for ZANU-PF. How does the party intend now to mend rifts and move the country forward?
Well, one of the things that ZANU-PF Central Committee did today as well was to reinstate all party members who were fired or dismissed or suspended from the party since 2014. So that is a process of, readmitting them, which should go a long way in building those bridges. But also, we know that there's been a conciliatory tone that's been taken, particularly by the war veterans, where they're inviting political parties of all the political parties to work with them. The march yesterday was addressed by opposition parties, the MDC, Joyce Mujuru, a former vice president. So many activists and civic society groups addressed that rally, and there seems to be a unity of purpose galvanized by this effort that's been done by the Zimbabwe Defense Forces. So I think in that respect, their job is made a lot easier because of that sense of unity that is pervading at this point in time. But certainly, indeed, they need to be seen to be inclusive, particularly as they go towards governing this country, coming up with policies that will impact the economy as well as the social side of ordinary Zimbabwean life here, Lindy.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much. Farai Mokutoya, of course, keeping a close eye on developments there in Harare. And as he said, they may well be an announcement this evening. So we will certainly be keeping a close eye on that. And of